All right, everyone. So welcome again to the Director's Table. We are so excited to kick off the 25-26 ACL season, celebrating all of our incredible directors. We are super lucky that we have the one and only Bret Sidwell, the State Director of Utah. Welcome to today's chat.
Thank you.
Perfect.
We'll try to stay in it.
We'll try to stay in it, definitely. So just let us know a little bit about what's your state, club, and just a little bit of everything.
My name is Bret Sidwell. I'm located in northern Utah, out of Garland, Utah. We own Box Elder County Cornhole, and we run 3 different clubs. We run Pearl of the West Cornhole, Box Elder Eagles 2919 Cornhole, as well as Bear River Cornhole. And then we host regional events as well as the state events.
That is awesome. So how did you first get started kind of running tournaments or playing cornhole? What was your start?
So I started at a fundraiser. We were doing as a Shop with a Cop fundraiser in our local Eagles Lodge, and went down and played in that. And then we saw on the calendar that they have a game night every Thursday night and that they play cornhole. We're like, holy cow, I didn't know that. And decided, yeah, let's go do that, And then they said, well, we need somebody to run it. And 5 years later, here we are, still running it. So.
That is amazing. That's really cool. So would you say that that's one of your, favorite memories when you first got started, or do you have a favorite memory as a director running tournaments?
I think my favorite memory is probably just playing in general. Got the opportunity to play a couple ACL pros and didn't get skunked. So that's a feat for us.
That's always a positive. Do you have any pros kind of within your area or who come out to play?
New this year, we've got Soakley Vaughn and Heston Barlow who have accepted their pro contract. We've got Hagen Lords. I'm sure everybody knows who that is. He's picked on quite a few of the pros. And then Jackson Robbins as well as Talon Burnett. But I know for sure Heston and Soakley will be pursuing the pro card this year.
That's pretty exciting. Now, all of the pros that you have within your state, so is that something that did they go through a gauntlet? How was it that they ended up qualifying as a pro through your state?
So that was new this year, where they accepted you had the top 100 pros, and where the ACL opened it up to bring in more pros from each state. Hagen Lords, obviously our number 1 junior in the state, and our number 1 in the state, and our number 1 CPI. And Soakley qualifying as I believe he was second in CPI is how he qualified. And then Heston, I believe he was third place. And then Talon and Jackson were in there as well as juniors. But
that's wonderful. No, that's good. Now, as a director, do you think with making this update and change, ACL, we definitely do a lot of making adjustments throughout the season, really obtaining as much feedback as possible. And that was a number 1 priority that we definitely did, was listening to the players, directors, and trying to get as much information. Do you feel that, going towards this new pathway for pro, does that open up more opportunities for players? Or have you heard anything from players about?
I think it's something they want to pursue. There's always going to be that challenge with the competing organization that, everybody just wants to play cornhole, and that's kind of the gist that we get around Utah as far as that goes. We just want to play. So it really kind of, I feel like sometimes that hurts us and maybe it helps us, but obviously that's a competing thing. But there's a couple other leagues around here that aren't considered competing, so they get the chance to play in those as well. So I think that's probably the biggest drawback to some of these guys not chasing the pro card.
Okay, that's interesting. That's really, really good to hear. And it's also exciting to see that there's cornhole everywhere. And like you said, everyone just wants to play, which makes it super exciting. Out here, at least in our area in Arizona, there's typically some type of cornhole event 7 days a week. So it's always exciting just to see players have the opportunity, no matter if it's just to go and hang out, be with some friends, maybe be a little bit more competitive. But what's great is that there's just that option and opportunity for everyone to be able to decide to do it, what works for them, which is really, really good. Now, with that, do you have any advice if someone came up to you and said, hey, I love to play cornhole, but I also don't really have a lot of events in our area. Do you have any advice for someone who is considering stepping into a directorship role as a state director?
So I think the advice I give any director that is looking to be up and coming, we've got a couple new clubs here. The biggest piece of advice I try to give them is just be humble, listen, and be as transparent as you can be. That's all the players ask from you. It's just honesty, integrity, and just to be humble and honest.
That's really good. I love that. And is there a lot of collaboration with clubs in your area, or do you guys do a lot of stuff together typically?
In northern Utah, yes. There's quite a bit. There's a lot of clubs up here. I'll bet you that there's five off the top of my head. And we're all within 30 or 40 miles of each other. So there's a ton of collaboration there. One of the biggest cornhole events in Utah. We usually there's three of us that get together and just put together a big cornhole tournament right before it, just to kind of give everybody a chance to warm up and a chance to collaborate and have a good time. We do bag raffles and giveaways, and so we definitely have a good time with that. But yeah, definitely a lot of collaboration. ACL's been great this year to try to collaborate. We've got a lot of clubs that aren't necessarily ready to take the dive, so some opportunities to collaborate there and come down and run ACL events with them at their clubs, once a week and things like that, to collaborate and try to get a foot in the door and really kind of encourage them to take this path and use the ACL as a tool to collaborate.
That's great. That's really good. And that kind of leads into, my next question. As a director, as you were, taking those steps, everyone, starts running tournaments, sometimes fundraisers, sometimes they're actively trying to find somewhere to figure out where they're going to, run events for their league. What really drew you to the ACL and, becoming a part, as a director and, to the point to where now you are the state director for Utah and definitely a leader within your state. So what drew you into this side?
So the ACL side of it just started out with a couple of that kind of, I don't know if they made news, but they got engaged in Reno. They talked me into going down to these regional events down in Camas that Mountain Town Cornhole and Patrick Saucier, the state director at the time, was putting on, and went down, had a blast. It was huge. It was the biggest thing I'd ever seen at that time, and I got involved with that and went, well, this is cool. And, like, then they start talking about points and points chasing. There's just a whole different caliber of cornhole there, and different goals, and to each their own. If you could chase points or just come and play, whichever you want to do. So that's what kind of drew me into it. And for me, the ACL is a tool to collaborate with multiple clubs, like I said earlier, and and not have the weight of the world resting on your shoulders to try to organize your own league and collaborate with all those clubs as well. The ACL, it's all built in. So for me, if you're not just collaborating with your own club, you're collaborating with the entire nation.
That's incredible. That makes me so excited to hear that. That's so good. And that's definitely a big goal. I think everyone, like you said, they all have their different goals and everything like that. So I think it's really, really good to know that, there's the positives in terms of just being able to have everything set, ready. Lots of resources. I think this past season we had about 60 resources. We have a dedicated director resource center, a really good guide. We also have a digital director's kit that's going to be released to all of our directors very soon, which will have just a ton of information, some social media information, how to get started, just tons of tools. So we're incredibly excited for that this coming season. Our director engagement program was such a fun success. One of my favorite things on the planet is just seeing directors who have earned their jerseys, the Zuka backpacks, just seeing the amount that actually was earned last season was super impressive. And I can't wait to see what ends up happening this coming season. Now, with all of that and with some of the added bonuses with the director engagement program, player engagement program, the open standings challenge, do you have anything fun or unique that you're also offering at your local clubs or even as a state as a whole?
So as this on the state level, we haven't started this yet. I've got the whole spreadsheet and everything. Thank you to Ashley Scola. She sent that our way to try to give awards and award playing for clubs and get the club directors involved, really grow that grassroots level and kind of award them. I mean, the little trophy plaques and stuff, they don't cost that much to make. So doing like, top three in each club, highest PPR, most or tournaments participated in, and awarding those clubs for those things as well, as we start to get club directors to start to file in and jump in as well. So kind of to compete and just encourage that collaboration amongst clubs and at that same direction. And then at our regionals and stuff, we try to do like a bag giveaway or a bag raffle each month. So automatically, you know, when you pay your venue fee, we just give you a raffle ticket and we raffle off a set of bags, try to help ease the pains of some of those venue fees. It's crazy expensive around here. So just try to give back to players as well.
That's incredible. That's super unique too, having, you know, a bag raffle and things like that. Now, is that something that you all kind of go out and find? Do you partner up with any, you know, other, I guess, bag sponsors or anything like that that help you guys with that?
So a huge shout out to MX Cornhole. He has supported us all year long last year and continues to support us this year, whether it be fundraising he just sent us a couple sets of bags for a fundraiser that I'm hosting this weekend. He usually hooks us up with a set of bags at every regional to raffle off at a huge discount. So huge shout out to him. He helps us out with our boards too. Getting some of that custom and sponsorship stuff printed directly on the boards this year is going to be super awesome. I'm excited to do that. And then also with Caddyshack Cornhole Custom, Steve Barnhart out there, league partners with them this year. Definitely a couple of people that go way out of their way to help out.
Yeah. No, that's incredible. Yeah, definitely. I think one of the coolest things is that the community is so big, but also so small at the same time. And so many of these partners, they support so much. You know, you see all of them across, you know, the country. You know, you have, you know, like I said, MX, who's super helpful. I've seen that they've sponsored tons of other, you know, clubs across the country, players, things like that. So in addition to, you know, directors and players, all these partners are the backbone. They're what keep a lot of us really, you know, going and are just so supportive. So as much as possible, one of the things that I personally like to say is anytime you can support any of the partners, please make sure that you do so. We have a ton of lists of them on the website, but also, I mean, you're going to see these players who are sponsored by them. If you have players within your state that are sponsored by a bag manufacturer or someone who, you know, just supports the sport of cornhole, just any chance you get, please make sure that you do sponsor them as well. Now, in addition to that, aside from those two, do you have any other sponsors or, you know, even local businesses that help you out within your club that you would like to give a shout out to?
Oh, there's a list. There's
I
a
love
list.
that.
So we're out of northern Utah. So we've got Idle Owl Candies right out of Brigham City, Utah. The Box Elder Eagles 2019, huge supporter. They are our weekly go-to venue. Brigham City Recreation, Tremont Recreation. We've got Mellon Glass out of Brigham City as well. Hanson Motor Company. Intermountain Health as a corporate sponsor last year was amazing for us. There's so many to list. If I forgot, I apologize. That list is
No,
not right in front of me.
no, that's great. I love that. And that's so good because it is a community. And I think that there's such benefit in sponsorships, especially when it comes with, you know, cornhole. You've got your boards, your events, you have tons of networking, I think, happens, and it's the neatest thing to be able to partner up with anyone, either as sponsor, a business, sometimes individuals, organizations. I think it's pretty neat to be able to do that. So do you have, you know, any other, I guess, interesting or fun memory or anything that had happened this past season that really kind of showed or anything like that?
This past season was definitely ups and downs. And when we talk about, you know, sponsors and those small, you know, when we talk about how small some of this cornhole community gets, we had a rough season last year. I came in as state director about midway through the year. Was not prepared budget wise for that. So again, a shout out to the MX Cornhole and Swanholio Cornhole as well. Those two stepping up and making the top 50 jerseys happen was huge and was a huge push for our state championship for people to finally realize that, you know, oh, okay, you know, at least I'm still playing for the jersey, right? So, but yeah, those two came in clutch with making things happen, and Swanholio all year long, really helping us out a ton. So, and yeah, that was probably the biggest celebration of last season, was actually being able to do the top 50 jersey. So now that we can budget for it, that helps a ton.
That's awesome. I was going to ask, is that something you anticipate bringing back to Utah this season as a top 50 jersey?
Yep, absolutely. Caddyshack Cornhole knocked it out of the park for us. They gave us a awesome deal on it. You state directors, that, I mean, honestly, if you're reach out to them. They helped us out huge. I'm pretty sure they lost money on it, but they helped us out greatly with that. With the price cut on it was massive, just to help out state directors who came to them.
That's wonderful. Again, another awesome partnership. And also that's a huge benefit to the players. So any players, if you're in the Utah area, make sure that you, look up Bret, find any of the local directors, regional directors, attend some of those events, and you can probably earn yourself one of those exclusive top 50 jerseys. It is 50 again this year, right? Or
Yeah,
you?
we'll do 50 again.
I wanted to make
That's
sure.
the plan. Yeah, 50 or more. We'll see. Maybe more.
Okay, perfect. Didn't want to overcommit for you.
No, we're committed.
Excellent. That's wonderful. So is there anything else, any goals maybe that you have for the season, or anything that you kind of want to just indulge us with when it comes to some great words for us to hear?
I hope to see some of these other directors in the area really get involved at the local level and really push it. We got a lot of young talent in the area, so super excited to see them get involved and be willing to at least host or entertain the ACL idea. And being a local director is a lot easier than you think. Really looking forward to this new app and the interface maybe getting a little simpler. I've never felt like the director side was very complicated. In fact, I've always felt like it was easier. But I know there's a lot of complaints and a lot of heartache over the scoreboards and things like that. But it's funny now because all we run is ACL, and when we've got new players come in, and that's all they know. So they see the other stuff, and they're like, "Wait, how does this work?" So just kind of goes to show, you can get used to anything, and so yeah, if that's all you've known, then yeah, I guess change is tough. But yeah, really excited to hopefully see more local directors this year. It looks like we're only sitting on about 2, but obviously we got 2 regional directors this year, and myself running regionals as well all the way across the state. So definitely excited to see more regionals in more places this year. We'll see how it goes.
That's great. We're excited to hear that. And yes, the new app, you definitely brought that up. We are incredibly excited. We have a couple of sneak peeks, some pretty cool content that's going to be rolling out that will give some type of a preview to the public. So we're excited to see that, get launched and released pretty soon here. Now, is there a way for anyone, if someone wants to get a hold of you or anything like that, is there a preferred method to get in touch with you and your club?
I field anything from phone calls. I don't know where people get my phone number from, but I know it's out there. We have a Facebook page, it's Box Elder County Cornhole LLC. Obviously the iplaycornhole.com, all my information is listed on there as well. So I field anything from probably at least 2 to 3 phone calls a week, and at least 1 to 2 emails a month from new players wanting to get involved. So however my name's getting out there, it's working pretty good. So keep them coming.
Good. I love to hear that. And exactly how you said, I'm on iplaycornhole.com, same way as iplayacl.com. If you we have as well. So we definitely want to make sure that we have everyone heading over there. If you are a player, we have a play to earn, so player engagement program just for playing and participating, supporting your local community, your directors. You have the ability to win prizes from a jersey, a set of pro boards. We gave about 3 of those out this past season, so that was incredibly exciting to do. And our brand new open challenge. So we have open points are back. Everyone is super excited for those. So if you want to look a little open challenge, how to earn anything from jerseys to an all-inclusive package to the ACL World Championships, make sure that you head on over there as well for it. But other than that, just check out our website. Make sure that you head on over, find Bret. Message him all the questions that you have. If you're in Utah, if you're a partner, anything, make sure that you are reaching out to him as well. Thank you so much, Bret, for this season. And I am so excited that you were the first director that we had to kick off this season for the 25-26 Directors Table.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye now.